The previous 5 installments of the Elm Street franchise had considerably helped the finances of New Line Cinema that had earned the nickname The House That Freddy Built, but the studio had also begun to develop other franchises, for example, Critters and by 1990, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Bob Shea recalled that frankly it was time to move on and we had other projects we wanted to focus on. The decision was made to make the sixth entry the final film in the Elm Street series. Director Rachel Talalay had produced most of the previous installments and was keen to helm the sixth film as its director. She also had a number of ideas that would help refresh the series, including not calling the title Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6, but coming up with what would be the 1991 film Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare.
Look, do you have any, caffeine pills or coffee, maybe some Coke? I meant the soda.
Listen, kid. There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
Come with me if you want to live.
Get to the chopper!
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
It's over! Nothing is over!
Hey everyone, welcome back to Chills and Thrills. Connor here along with Adrian, and today we are looking at Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. So Adrian, I am going to run through this one a little different. I'm going to give you some information and background on Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, and then we will get into talking about our fond memories of this film or how we felt about it on our most recent rewatch, if that is all right with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, also known as A Nightmare on Elm Street 6, The Final Nightmare, is a 1991 American slasher film and the sixth film in a Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. It is a sequel to A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, and was originally intended to be the final installment of the series, but Wes Craven's New Nightmare was released 3 years later and takes place outside the series canon. A canonical crossover sequel, Freddy vs. Jason, was also released in 2003. And then this was New Line Cinema's first 3D film release. This film was directed by Rachel Talalay in her feature directorial debut from a screenplay by Michael DeLuca, and the film stars Lisa Zane, Yaphet Kotto, Breckin Meyer, Sean Greenblatt, Ricky Dean Logan, Leslie Dean, Toby Sexton, and Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. Additionally, several well-known actors make cameo appearances, including Johnny Depp, whose screen time debut was in the original film, Roseanne Barr, Tom Arnold, and Alice Cooper. Iggy Pop sings the title song, which plays during the end credits over a montage of scenes from the previous films in the series, and Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare was released on September 13th, 1991, and it was panned by critics upon release. So it was panned by critics, and it was panned by me anytime I watched this film. So that is why I wanted to read the information first before we pan this film.
Yeah, I don't see us being too kind to this one.
And like I said in our last episode, I truly don't remember when I first seen this film or have very fond memories of watching it when I was younger. I know that I did see it at a younger age. I just don't know when. And I remember my initial reaction was just okay, you build this as the final nightmare, and it was a terrible film, in my opinion. It still has some fun. You get Freddy Krueger, of course, Robert Englund is always great, no matter what kind of film you put him in as Freddy Krueger. But it's just something about this, it was it went off the rails for me. It was, like, a little too cheesy. It's like they were trying to make Freddy Krueger, like, way into, like, kids, almost, like, taking it towards, like, a Cartoon Network type direction, Freddy Krueger, and I didn't like it. I mean, the 5th film kinda took it in that cheesy route already, and then we got this one, and it's one of the films. I have hundreds of movies in physical copy, like DVD, Blu-ray, because I loved having like the physical media. And this is probably like in like my top 20 for like my least watched, or like one of the ones that I am least likely to go back to. So that kind of tells you how I feel about Freddy's Dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely down very, very, very down on my list. Now saying that though, there are some good things about it. But one thing I'm curious about was what's the screen time for Freddy on this one?
I'm gonna make you wait. I will spoil that in numbers.
Oh, you bastard.
Harsh words for a harsh movie, man. And this film does have, don't let me be all negative about this. This film does have some positives for me. I think that Spencer's like a fun, goofy character. I love getting Yaphet Kotto as Doc because I originally seen him in the original Alien, and
Mhm.
so I've always liked him as an actor. So like he's a shining spot in this, and like I said, Robert Englund as getting Freddy Krueger back. That's always a positive. So like I'm not all like 1,000,000% negative on this, but it's the film in the franchise that I probably go back to watch the least.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yaphet Kotto, oh man, I love that actor. Um, First saw him in Alien as well. I even have a nice little alien tattoo on my forearm, and one of me and my son's all-time favorite movies, like favorite horror films. Um, and so seeing him in this movie, like whenever I started rewatching it, last night, or actually, yeah, I started last night, couldn't finish it. I was so damn tired, and then had to rewatch it this morning. And whenever I saw his name in the credit, I was like, "No freaking way, Yaphet Kotto!" Oh, I'm so excited to see what he does because I did not remember him whenever I was a kid. Uh, I loved the casting on this one. I think Johnny Depp reprising his role, well, he didn't really reprise it. He was there, but I think he technically did because, you see all the trapped souls in the TV, and then second later, he's hosting a little show. So I think that was a reprisal, right?
I mean, I think I wouldn't say he reprised the exact same like character, but he definitely, he's definitely in the film. So it's a reprisal for him back into the franchise.
Okay. I don't know. I'll argue with that one. 'Cause I think that, like, if it was just a random, "Hey, here's, Johnny Depp, playing some random character," just like a little nod to his original character in the first film, uh, but it was the build-up to it. It was the whole all the souls in the TV first, and I think that's why I'm more leaning on the reprisal role than just, a guest star.
Okay, well, I'm cheating. While we were sitting here talking, I typed Freddy's Dead into Google and went to the cast, and it says Johnny Depp as Glenn Lance. So there you go. Nancy's boyfriend in the original was named Glenn.
Boom. Called it.
No. All right, damn it. Why don't we go ahead since you know all? Why don't we go ahead? What are we doing next? No. Why don't we go
You little
ahead
turd.
and jump into trailer for the film. We'll get a plot synopsis read off, and then we'll come back with some numbers, some fun facts, and our favorite categories on Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare.
Alright, let's do it.
As a boy, he was always different. no one understood him.
You ready for it, boy?
It's time to take your medicine.
Thank you, sir.
No one could control him.
Go inside, honey.
But now, it's a new beginning. The beginning of the end for Freddy.
Every town has an Elm Street. Screaming while the bus is in motion. It's your mind or go for it. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little soul, too.
We're gonna have to hit him with everything we got.
Now I'm playing with power.
We're in Twin Peaks here. It's gotta be me and him.
You want to live? Maggie, what's up? What's with kids today, huh?
Freddy's Dead. The final nightmare.
Great graphics.
They saved the best for last.
Set 10 years from now, Freddy Krueger has returned and killed nearly every child and teenager in the town of Springwood, Ohio. The only surviving teenager, John Doe, is confronted by Freddy in a dream. John wakes up just outside the Springwood city limits, but due to a head injury, does not remember who he is or why he is there. At a shelter for troubled youth, 3 of the residents, Spencer, an affluent stoner resisting his dad's attempts to get him to conform, Carlos, a troubled kid who was physically abused by his mother to the point of becoming deaf in one ear, and Tracy, a tough girl who was sexually abused by her father, plan to run away to California. The police find John and take him to the shelter where he becomes a patient of Dr. Maggie Burroughs. Maggie notices a newspaper clipping from Springwood in John's pocket. To attempt to cure John's amnesia, she plans a road trip to Springwood. In an attempt to run away, Tracy, Carlos, and Spencer stow away in the van but are discovered when John has a hallucination and almost wrecks the van just outside Springwood. Tracy, Spencer, and Carlos attempt to leave Springwood, but not before stopping to rest at the abandoned 1428 Elm Street house. John and Maggie visit the Springwood orphanage and discover that Freddy had a child. John believes he is that child because Freddy allowed him to live. Back on Elm Street, Carlos and Spencer fall asleep and are killed by Freddy. Tracy is almost killed but is awakened by Maggie. John, who went into the dream world with Tracy to try to help Spencer, is still asleep. Maggie and Tracy take John back to the shelter, but on their way back, Krueger attacks John in his dream. Before killing John, Krueger reveals that his child is a girl. As John dies, he tells this to Maggie. Tracy and Maggie return to the shelter, but they find that no one remembers John, Spencer, or Carlos except for Doc, who has learned to control his dreams. Maggie finds her adoption papers and realizes that she is Freddy's daughter. Her birth name was Catherine Krueger, but her name was changed to Maggie Burroughs when her father was arrested and subsequently murdered. Doc discovers that Freddy's power comes from dream demons who continually revive him and that Freddy can be killed if he is pulled into the real world. Maggie decides that she will be the one to enter Freddy's mind and pull him into the real world. Once in the dream world, she puts on a pair of 3D glasses and enters Freddy's mind. In his mind, she learns that Freddy was teased as a child, was abused by his foster father, inflicted self-abuse as a teenager, and murdered his wife when she discovered his murderous tendencies. Freddy was given the power to become immortal by fiery demons, and Maggie struggles to pull Freddy into the real world but eventually succeeds. Maggie and Freddy end up in a hand-to-hand combat against each other. She uses several weapons confiscated from patients at the shelter. Enraged by the knowledge of what he has done, Maggie tears off Freddy's clawed glove and stabs him through the stomach with it, embedding the glove's claws into a steel support beam and leaving Freddy suspended above the ground. Tracy tosses Maggie a pipe bomb, which she throws into Freddy's chest. The three dream demons, unable to revive him in the real world, fly out of Freddy after the pipe bomb kills him. Tracy, Doc, and Maggie rejoice as the latter triumphantly declares Freddy's dead as the credits roll.
All right, give me the numbers.
All right, let's hop into some numbers here. So, Freddy's Dead had a budget between $9 to $11 million. So I just went with 9 million for the budget and a box office return of 34.9 million, which in 2025 dollars that would be a $21.5 million budget and a $82.9 million box office return, which is pretty substantially up from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child, which had a $8 million budget and $22.1 million return. So I mean to have a $1 million more budget and to bring in almost $13 million more. I mean, when you say The Final Nightmare though, I feel like that brought that probably brought half of the people to the theaters that came to see this, was that phrase right there.
So misleading. Little did they know they were going to walk into an actual nightmare.
So little did they know they were going to get another film 3 years later.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
So, Freddy's Dead is rated a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb. It has a 23% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, a 39% approval rating on Metacritic, and 77% of Google users liked this film.
Oh, my goodness. That is a lot higher than I would have thought.
I think our Google users just see Freddy Krueger and they're like, all right, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, you know what? That checks out.
That checks out. I've talked to like 20 of them.
Oh,
So there are a total of 6 deaths in this film, averaging to one every 14.8 minutes, which again is up from the 5th film. All right, Adrian, I know in the beginning of this episode you were asking about Freddy's screen time, and I made you wait about a whole 15-20 minutes, so I know you're dying over there. So I did include all of Freddy's screen time in this. So even when Robert Englund was playing him as a person before he was transformed into Freddy Krueger, and the little bit we seen him as a child. So Freddy is on screen for a total of 15 minutes and 30 seconds, or about 17.5% of the film.
okay. There we go. I'm going to tell you what, Connor. This was probably the longest 15 minutes of my life, if I'm being honest. And that is awesome. I love that he was in this movie so much. I love seeing Krueger because every time you see Krueger, like I said before, he delivers every single time. I mean, the first movie, you just had a few minutes. It was 7 minutes of Krueger, but he was memorable. He uh he didn't have quips in the first movie, but he did deliver. And so seeing that time frame actually double, oh, gotta love it.
Yeah, this is the most by far we've got him in a film up to date through the first 6 films. So and I mean, it like you said, he does deliver. I wish it was a little more serious, but that is the one shining spot we have for Freddy's Dead, is that we get Freddy Krueger for almost 20% of the film. We get him for 15 and a half minutes, and most of what we get of him is fun. It's almost like Robert Englund just acting out and having a blast, and it looked like he had fun. And there were certain things he did, like when she broke his hand, and he's like, "God, I forgot how much it hurts to be human," and just the little emphasis he puts on certain words. And Robert Englund delivered for us in this one. Too bad the rest of the film did not.
Yeah, this was I mean, if you like this movie and this is your all-time favorite, please reach out because I don't believe you.
I would like you to reach out just to explain to us why it's your favorite, because maybe you can teeter us a little bit more in favor of this. Not much, but we'd love to hear like what people think of this film, like a honest, like if you really do like it or there's certain parts that you like, give us a comment or something because we'd love to read them and kind of go back and forth on why you like this film, or it may be in like a higher tier for you or something. I think that could be fun.
Absolutely. I would love a nice, good little back and forth. Like, some inclusion from the audience because I wanna know. I am so freaking curious.
Me and Adrian are sick of agreeing with each other. We need somebody to tell us that we're both wrong and we suck or something.
Exactly.
We're
Exactly.
looking at this movie completely wrong and tell us why. All right, well, how about we run through some fun facts because that is all the numbers I have for you, and we'll keep on shimmying through here.
Let's do it.
So, according to Alice Cooper in the Never Sleep Again, the Elm Street Legacy documentary, he stated that he gets asked to be in films all the time, but they always want him in makeup as his onstage persona. And he agreed to be in this film not only because he was a fan of the series, but also he could play as his character as Freddy's father as himself without his usual Alice Cooper onstage look.
Oh, you punk. That was mine. That was my favorite little bit of trivia.
Well, I apologize.
Alright, okay. Let's see. For mine, give me another one because you have a lot more than me today.
I can do that. So my next one for you here is this is the first film in the series to not include the little girls jumping rope, singing Freddy's rhyme. Instead, the lyrics appear written on several places in the film.
Yeah, this my list is dwindling. Okay, even though she played a teenager, Leslie Dean was 26 at the time of filming. She played Tracy.
Okay, and I that's who I was pretty sure you were talking about, and she looks a little bit older. Not no
Right?
offense to her, but you can definitely tell that she's not a high schooler or like a 18, 19-year-old young lady. So I got on September 12th, 1991, a day before the US release of the movie, Los Angeles declared it Freddy Krueger Day.
I saw that and, that's awesome. Okay. New this was, you already stated this earlier, but I'm gonna restate it. This was New Line Cinema's first film in 3D.
I wish I was able to see it in 3D because, like, you see it nowadays without the 3D and it looks cheesy and, like, kiddish, but, like, I feel like if you actually seen it in 3D, it would probably look cool because, like, I've seen like Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, like watching it in 2D, it's like a meh film. But like I went to a showing that showed all 8 Nightmare on Elm or all 8 original Friday the 13th films. And it was an all day thing and you actually got to watch Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D and
Nice.
it raised my appreciation for that film way up. It was so much fun.
I like it, I like it. Let's see, as this movie was meant to end the series, this is the first Nightmare on Elm Street film that did not end on a cliffhanger.
And let me be the first one to say that I absolutely hate I do not use that word very often, but I hate this ending. Just the Freddy's dead, and then we go into the credits. Like, what
And that
the
was
hell
it.
are you doing?
Before the rewatch, I told you, I'm gonna rewatch it. I'm gonna watch it for the first time in 15 years tonight, and you're like, "Okay, well, I'll be ready for that text." As soon as you're done watching, you're like, "What the hell did I just watch?" And sure enough, I sent that text.
I knew it was coming. I didn't know how explicit it was going to be, but
Uh, okay, I'm gonna give you one more because you keep taking mine. Uh, this is the only film in the series which Freddy doesn't kill anyone using his glove.
I did see that one. And again, I don't like it. So I'll give you one. It's when Freddy punches Tracy in the face during their epic fight, Robert Englund actually punched Leslie Dean.
Oh no.
She took it like a champ. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, now I'm picturing that scene right now, and I just remember seeing her face in it, and yeah, took it like a champ.
So what
Um,
else you got for me? I don't wanna keep taking yours if we're on the same ones.
alright, excluding flashbacks, this is the only Nightmare movie in which no female characters die. All the victims are male.
Alright. Well, here we have a female director, and now all she's doing is killing guys. What now this movie's sexist.
Alright, let's cancel this one.
Right, they tried to cancel 2, we gotta cancel this one as well. So at around 57 minutes into the film, when Maggie goes to speak with her mother, she enters the house and screams, "Mother!" and slams the door behind her. And this is exactly the same as when Nancy comes home to see that her mother has placed bars over all the windows in their house in the original film from 1984.
I will say you delivered that mother line in the same cadence, so I saw both of them saying it. So yeah, you're right. That was a nice little nod.
Take a little bow over here. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. 2 nodes to Nintendo. The Freddy's line, "Now I'm playing with power," is a variation on Nintendo's "Now you're playing with power" ad campaign, which was primarily out of use by 1991. Um, Also, Freddy's glove controller is a heavily modified version of the Nintendo's controller of the same name, the Power Glove.
I like that. That is one of the highlights kinda of the film for me, like, that being a kid and seeing that or, like, a younger, adult, like a young teen, that was fun for me because I was big into video games. Alright, I'll give you some more here. It's, my next one is when A Nightmare on Elm Street 5: The Dream Child became the lowest grossing film of the series at the time. Freddy's Dead was written to be the final movie in the series. Surprisingly, it did remarkably better than The Dream Child at the box office and became the 4th highest grossing film in the series, so the studio was open to continuing with New Nightmare in 1994, and then the Friday the 13th crossover Freddy vs. Jason in 2003.
Nice. Um, let's see. Leslie Dean was in 976 Evil in 1988, which was directed by Robert Englund.
I have not seen that. Also a fun fact I did not know. I don't have you seen that one?
I have not. I've never even heard of it.
I've heard of it, I've just never taken the time to watch it, and being such, like, a Nightmare on Elm Street and Robert Englund, like, fan as Freddy Krueger, I figured one of these days I should probably get to it and check out what the man brings to for his directing chops, like, let's see what he's got.
And now I know what I'm doing with the rest of my weekend.
976 Evil.
Let's do it.
So my next one for you here is Robert Englund said his favorite kill in any of the Nightmare on Elm Street films is Carlos's death in this film.
Really?
That one surprised me, and I was just like, really, out of all the kills you have, that I don't know if it's because like he had so much fun filming it and he just kind of like got to portray like this goofy Freddy character, but I found that one fun.
Let's see. Yeah, ah, that kill, I did like that because I figured, yeah, he was gonna have less kills throughout this movie in particular, and, so whenever his first real kill was Carlos, and seeing how long he took with that, I was like, "Okay, so they're gonna bring down the kill count, but they're going to up the amount that he's messing with them." I like that.
And this one I found, but I feel like this is not right because I did a kill count and like I said, I counted 6 and I even double checked that with like YouTube and things like that, like things that other people have done. And
Mhm.
so this fun fact says that this has the same body count as A Nightmare on Elm Street: The Dream Child at 3 victims in each one, the lowest of the series.
Right. Okay, let's see. At around 28 minutes during the scene at Springwood High. Several newspaper clippings and other references to Freddy's victims appear. Also written on the chalkboard is 1945 Hiroshima and Nagasaki attempts fail. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Absolutely. Sorry, I was looking up the kill count. Carlos Spencer, John Doe, Mr. Underwood, which I don't know, killed with straight razor off screen, Loretta Kruger, and then Freddy Krueger himself.
Hmm.
So there's 6.
Yeah.
All right, so that is all the fun facts I have for you, unless you have any more for me.
I'm good. That's all I got.
All right, so would you like to go first on who your favorite character was in Freddy's Dead?
Okay, out of the long list of people, um, let us go with let's see, oh my goodness, Spencer. No, I'm sorry, John Doe. That was my favorite character because, he just did whatever. Like, he was along for the ride, and he was just being pushed around, and he didn't really care. Like, he tried to voice himself several times, like, "No," and then they're like, "Oh, come on," and he's like, "Okay."
And he's like our misleading character. Like we're made to believe that he's someone important in the film and kind of like I guess like Freddy's child. And then I like the scene where he's like, "Do you think I'm your daddy?" And then it's like, "Oh, all right.
"What?"
Well, you're not Freddy's kid. You're dead." Like he's definitely you're gonna be next on the list. He he was a fun kind of like intriguing character to follow around, but I didn't really have a liking to any of these. I thought all the characters were pretty bland, and
Yeah.
compared to what we've got recently in like Dream Warriors and Dream Master, and even like the Dream Child was a step below those 2, but they were still, like, interesting enough, and, in this one, they're just very bland, like, it's almost like they were just doing it for a paycheck.
Yeah, they were made to fit a stereotype of a typical horror movie casting, and that's exactly what they did.
So I ended up going with Doc, Yaphet Kotto's character because I loved him in Alien, and when I was younger, when I first seen that, I was rooting for him to survive because again, he was the smart ass character, and he
Mhm.
you know he was this big guy. So I'm thinking like, all right, maybe he's gonna give the alien a fight or something, and then you find out that the damn xenomorph has acid for blood, and it's like, ooh, this is gonna that's a fight he's not gonna win. And so, like, I seen him in this, and I was super excited. But when you come to horror movies, the the black character or African American character, like, they usually do not survive these type of films. So I'm thinking like, "Oh, like, how alright, how are you gonna do it? How are you gonna kill him?" And he ends up being like the kinda like he was like a valued character in this. Like he was like the voice of reason and like he had everyone's back and he was trying to help all the kids and characters in the film. So like he was the easy choice for me because of past films I've seen him in and then him being like the voice of reason and trying to help in this film.
Yeah, I definitely loved him, but I couldn't pick him just on the fact that, I feel like it would be too biased of me to pick him just because I love Alien so much.
Meh. It's 100% okay to pick him because you like aliens so much.
Alright, duly noted.
So I'll give you my favorite score, and again, I hate to rag on this film, but I think this is probably one of like the most basic or bland scores that we have got for a Nightmare on Elm Street film. I think between this and part two, those two, but for these first 6 films, are battling for like the worst spot for soundtrack or OST, and it was really hard for me to pick, and I ended up just going with the opening titles to the film, and I don't have too much to say about it, but it was just hard for me to choose, and the I remember kind of like bobbing my head and nodding a little bit to the opening titles, and I don't remember doing that to like any other soundtrack or score in this film, so I went with the opening titles.
No, this one was easier for me. I picked the video game suite suit Suite sweet. Yeah, it's whenever he's playing the game, and you just got that classic 8-bit video game music in the background.
Okay, I can respect that. I know what you're talking about, and that that was another one I could say it stood out a little bit. But like this is I feel like I'm not giving this film enough credit, but I feel like it didn't give me a lot to work with. So like but I don't want to be like a total hate fest on this film because it's still Freddy Krueger. But like that every franchise is going to have at least one that most fans can agree on is like the worst in the franchise. Like with Friday the 13th, a lot of people say like it's Jason Takes Manhattan, or like Halloween. I don't agree with this, but a lot of people say it's Halloween Resurrection. And
Mm,
for Nightmare on Elm Street, I hear a lot of people say it's the 2010 remake or Freddy's Dead.
yeah, yeah. I agree with every single one of those.
so So what was your favorite quote then in the film? Because I definitely had one for this one, and then I did have a Freddy one as well that I was gonna shout out.
Okay, so mine tied up with 2 quotes. I couldn't pick between the 2 because both of these quotes had me busting up laughing, um, in the scene in the during this movie. The first one was at the very beginning whenever John Doe was in the plane, and he goes, "I'm afraid of heights," and then the woman next to him is like, "Don't be a pussy."
And then she gets yanked out of the top of the plane.
She just gets pulled through. It's like, what was that about? And then, second one also involved John Doe, where he was trying to keep himself awake and he was singing, 99 bottles of beer on the wall, but he was, like, up to, like, 400 and something, and everybody else is trying to sleep, and then you just hear a, "Hell, I'll break that bottle over your head if you don't shut the fuck up."
Didn't they throw something at him as well, like a can or something?
Yeah, they threw something at him too. Both of those scenes, I was cracking up laughing so hard. I had to pause the movie, I was laughing so damn hard.
See, and I thought you were gonna take mine when you said John Doe, but I'll give you that, and then we can get into our Freddy quotes for the film, because
Alright.
mine came from John Doe as well, and it's when he was talking to Maggie, and he's like, "Look, do you have any caffeine pills or coffee, maybe some Coke?" And she just kind of gives him this look, and he goes, "I meant the soda," and I busted out. That gave me the biggest laugh of the film.
Yeah, I remember that one. That one was super funny.
That one, it's I don't know what it is, but that's one of the things I like about this film is that exact quote right there. I will watch the first 15, 20 minutes of this film just to hear that quote.
I can tie up, yours and mine too and the 2 of mine, and I'll be good.
So did you have well, I know you did, but what Freddy quotes kinda got you in this one? Gave you a good laugh or did you like?
Okay, so I had one, again, first few minutes of the film, whenever he's in the falling house, and then Freddy, for some reason, is dressed up like the Wicked Witch of the West. Like, "And I'll get you, my pretty, and your little soul too."
It's just so cheesy, like,
It
stuff
was
like that
so
is
cheesy.
fun. I would have loved for that to be in a better movie.
Yeah, me too. Because that's whenever I think of Freddy Krueger, it always comes down to that scene. Like, if I'm whenever I was a kid, I remember seeing that scene, and it just stuck to me for years. I mean, even to this day, I couldn't remember what movie it was from. It was one of them because I haven't seen them all in 15 years, and then, lo and behold, it was one of the last ones, and it was just not the one I wanted it to be in.
Well, like, I've always been a big fan of, like, The Wizard of Oz too, so, like, when I see The Wizard of Oz, I think of Freddy Krueger doing that, and when I see Freddy Krueger doing that, I think of The Wizard of Oz, so, like, it's a connection I'm always gonna make. It's one movie I love to one movie I'm not a big fan of.
I had an ex ruin The Wizard of Oz for me, but that's for another time.
Oh, we'll do The Wizard of Oz, and we can talk about it.
Oh, n oh,
Story
no.
time.
Oh, no. Alright, long story short is my ex-wife is named Dorothy, and her birthstone is emerald.
No. No comment, no comment. I'll leave it alone. So I got 2 Freddy quotes for you, and, I they kinda came from the same scene for me, and one is just, it's Robert Englund's delivery that gets me when he's just sitting there, he's playing the video games, and he goes, "Great graphics." Like, that kills me because it seems like he's saying that in, like, a genuine way, like, he's literally enjoying himself, and then the other one was, "You forgot the power glove, now I'm playing with power," and I was just like, "You know what? For as much as I don't like this movie, like, Robert Englund, you delivered an all-star performance in some of these one-liners you're giving."
Oh, yeah. Hands down. This was, he was the shining beacon in this movie.
And there was only one shining beacon.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nightmare on or sorry, Freddy's dead.
Yeah.
I hate to do it to you. So I'm pretty sure I can figure out what our favorite scene was from the film. It was, as soon as the credits rolled, right? No.
Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it. It was all so I mean, I used the term in the last movie, and then this movie blew it out of the water, but it was so zany. It was hard to keep it was hard to keep my attention and hard for me to take this movie seriously, but just by how zany it was.
I caught myself look my on because I had to watch it twice. And the first time I watched it for the episode, I found myself looking at my phone constantly. I was scrolling through Facebook or I was on YouTube or, I was doing something. I was messaging people. So I probably watched like a half hour out of the hour and a half movie altogether. So I was like, you know what? I should probably sit through it, watch it, suffer whatever I got to do and figure it out what my favorite character and everything was. So I had to watch it twice. So that my first time getting through it, it was very rough. But
Oh
then
yeah.
I battled through it on the second go for you listeners, so you're welcome.
Y'all will be paying for my therapy. Um,
I did have a favorite scene though. I'll give it
okay.
to you because not all of this movie is bad. And it was when Freddy plays the video games. I mean, Robert Englund delivers a top-notch Freddy Krueger performance with his lines during that scene, with the video game that he's playing and Spencer being in it. And it was just a fun 5 minutes of the film where you kind of got to like sit and decompress and like laugh a little bit, enjoy it. And while the for me, the rest of the film is just like this 85 minutes of me like not enjoying A Nightmare on Elm Street that I want to enjoy. It's just the direction they went didn't allow me to do that. So that scene was another shining light for me in this one. It was one of those beacons. So I guess this film had two of those.
Let's see. Mine was actually where'd it go? Where'd it go? Right after like the whole John Doe dying scene, I enjoyed that part where he's got the parachute on, and then Freddy Krueger delivers the news that he's not actually his son, and he cuts the parachute, and you see him fall, and then you next thing you know, you see Freddy Krueger pushing the bed of nails, and it's heavy. He's like, "Whew," and, John Doe dies, spoiler alert, and then it shows Freddy Krueger on the Springwood sign crossing out the population and rewriting it with one person less.
I like part of that scene when Freddy's pushing the bed of spikes and he's like, like
Ooh.
exhausted, pushing them to the middle of the road.
Oh, yeah.
So there are some takeaways of this film. Like if you're gonna ask me my honest opinion, it's probably like 80% bad with some 20% gems kind of dropped in.
Yeah, yeah, I'd give this film probably a good, like, I don't know, 2 out of 2 out of 10.
And that's rough. Coming so like this is only a couple years after the phenomenal films of like Dream Warriors, Dream Master, like those were 87, 88. Dream Child was what 89, and then we get this in 91 and it's like how did you come this far in 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah. It was oh, man, it was so bad. It was just and one thing about me is I enjoy films. Like, I don't I don't sit there and I don't critique as much as a lot of people do, and especially people that love cinema like I do. 'Cause, my best friend Drew, we talk about movies all the time, and I will just sit there and I will enjoy a movie for it being a movie. But, man, this one was a little rough.
And I'm one of those too, like, ever since I started the podcast and I I I I watched movies and things like that. I always liked watching the special effects, things like that. But, like, since starting the podcast, like, especially when I go see movies in theaters and things like that, I pay way more attention to, like, the music or, like, the score of the film. I pay way more attention to the dialogue to see like if there's like any hints or like nods to other films or directors or anything like that. I pay way more attention to like where the story is going. Like the entire film, I just pay way more attention to, and I try to like look. Even if we're not doing it on the podcast, like I went and seen Predator Badlands, and so I started looking up stuff on the internet about it, like how they did certain effects and like what it costs and like I didn't used to do that until I started the podcast. So like diving into these Nightmare on Elm Street films and like seeing how they did things or like why this character didn't come back or things like that. And then like I said, we 3, 4, and 5 were favorites as a kid. 3 and 4 are still ones I think very highly of. 5, I'm kinda in the middle of, and then we get to this film, and like I said, it just kinda, like, thinking that, like, Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, they're gonna do something big. Like, this is gonna be, like, an all-out, like, chaotic film where Freddy's going nuts, he's killing people, and, like, they're gonna have, like, this top-notch, like, final, like, battle brawl climax at the end of the film, and we didn't get any of that. So it
No.
kinda it's one of those films that just it let me down.
Speaking of the climax and the final battle, can we just talk about how painful that was?
Enlighten me. What are you thinking here?
Okay, so they're feeding her weapons the whole time. She brought Freddy into the real world. They got locked in the cage, and Tracy's over there. She's feeding her weapons, and she's giving her all the weapons that were in the lockers, and she hands them, like, I don't know, 20 throwing stars and kunai, and she's just throwing them all at Freddy. And it's a good 30 seconds of just her throwing stars at him. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, is this is please tell me she's almost out."
In all reality, where did you actually get those from?
Right?
They were just hanging out in lockers like some a group of ninjas from the Ninja Turtles, just the Foot Clan just left them laying behind or something?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. 'Cause there was just absurd there was a bat with nails in it, and they were hardcore nails, and it was just absolutely hilarious.
Can we, uh can we do a dishonorable mention for a quote where she kisses Freddy and she tells him Happy Father's Day? That's, like, ultimate cringe for me.
Oh, yeah, okay, if you want to do that one, I got another one for you. Um, let's talk if you wanna talk about cringe, it's gonna be right before Spencer gets pulled into the TV. It's right after Carlos dies, and Tracy's looking around for him, and she finds Spencer high on the couch, and she goes, "I can't find Carlos." And then Spencer, he was like, "You see what's on this TV?" It's a broken TV. I was like, "Oh, that hurt me."
There were definitely some cringeworthy parts in this film. I don't know if the director of this, Rachel Talalay,
Mhm.
if she ever directed another film or if this was her one claim to fame.
Oh, I don't know. That's, oh, yeah, that's a little rough. That was if that's your claim to fame, that's definitely a little rough. Oh my goodness. She directed wow. I'm looking through her IMDb right now, and I take back everything I said about you, Rachel. Um, she's directed 67 things, produced 15. Um, let's see. Director, let's go. She was she directed one episode of Doctor Who. She directed The Flash, the TV series, not that that horrible movie. Quantum Leap, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Superman and Lois, Riverdale, Doom Patrol. Oh, that was a good show. Supergirl, uh, an episode of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Looks like she did 7 more episodes of Doctor Who. Sherlock. Oh, that the 2017 TV show. That was a really good show. Shame there's only that few episodes, but she's done a lot. Oh my goodness, she directed an episode of Supernatural. That's one of my favorite shows. Um, I have a Supernatural tattoo as well.
So this was just her first this was like an experiment for her to kinda get her feet wet. So I don't think it was the right way to get her feet wet. I think she should have started with some of those shows.
She directed Tank Girl. Oh my goodness. Do you remember watching that?
I do not. I don't even think I've
Really?
ever heard of that.
You've never heard of Tank Girl?
I don't think so. That does not sound
Oh.
familiar.
Oh my goodness. Lori Petty. Oh. Um, all right. Well, that's a deep dive. That one.
Deep dive down IMDb.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm currently in a rabbit hole.
All right. Well, how about we go a different direction and you tell me who your favorite kill was in Freddy's Dead.
Um, I'm gonna go with Freddy because as soon as he was done, there was like one bit of dialogue, and then it was the end of the movie.
Wow, that's harsh.
I don't mean to, destroy this movie, um, but it hurt. My favorite death was Carlos. I did like it gave the movie so much hope, because if that's the way that he was going to kill everybody else off, I thought I had so much more hope for this movie.
I will give this film that it kills the characters in an entertaining way, like Carlos with, like, when he's, like, gives him, like, I don't know if it's, like, a super hearing aid that, like, I don't know how it attaches to his ear and, like, morphs onto his ear and how, like, just, like, the little falling of the nails, like, sound like bombs to him, like, that is creative. So, like, I can't, like, really knock everything of this film because that's creative. And I went with my favorite kill being Spencer, which was the video game kill, which is also creative because video games were becoming a big thing. And so, like, it was just like a fun scene in all with Freddy getting the great graphics line and the power glove. So, like I said, like, not everything is completely bad. There are some fun spots in this film, and, like, the kills, which, that's what a lot of horror fans come to see. The kills in this film are the shining spot of the film for at least entertainment value.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Alright, so I think that is all I have on Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, so we'll get into some final thoughts and talk about what we're doing on our next episode and get out of here right after Adrian plugs his wife's and his podcast.
Sweet. Thank you very much. Please join us around the campfire every Monday as I tell my wife some scary stories and the efforts of getting her to believe in the paranormal, supernatural, and anything that goes bump in the night.
Absolutely, so check out his Make Me Believe podcast, so that is Adrian and his wife doing that one as him and I do this one. So I'll give you some final thoughts. And again, I don't think people really need to even get to this part in our episode to find out how we feel about this film. They might have to listen to about 5 minutes of this episode or so. But not all negative. Freddy's Dead is, I mean, I'll go ahead and I don't think I'm spoiling it for anyone here. This is my least favorite in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I think it kills everything that 3, 4, and 5 were kind of building up to, like 3 and 4 for the middle of this franchise, built up. I think a great they left the franchise in a great spot. And then 5 kind of continued the story of Alice. And I think, again, I think I've said this before on the podcast, that we could have continued the story of Alice in this. And I understand that money talks. So with 5 being the most or the least profitable of the franchise, you figure you're gonna write it off, you're gonna stop it here. But what a film to, like, try to end it with. Like, I get this film did pretty good numbers at the box office, but man, if you would have gave this like an all out, like, Freddy kills like 10, 12, 15 people and is just like on a savage streak, and like it's the big climax where he's finally taken out, or maybe he kills the last victim as he dies himself, or just something crazy. Give us something where Freddy's a savage and not this jokester. But I can have fun with this film. I don't watch it very often, and rewatching it for the podcast twice, probably won't watch it for a little while here unless I'm having some friends over and we just want to watch a goofy, fun time of a movie and kind of like barely pay attention to the TV because we're too busy playing card games or something. So, I mean, all in all, this isn't a film I recommend. Even if you're like a horror fan, if you're a Nightmare on Elm Street fan, you've seen it, and it's just not one I go back to. Again, it's my least favorite in the franchise, but it's always fun to do these episodes and go back to these films. So I did have fun watching it and kind of diving into it for the episode.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on the whole putting it on in the background and letting just something play while there's drinks aplenty and cards to be dealt. That's about as far as I will go for it.
Would you go as far to say least favorite in the franchise with me, or do you want to keep that a secret?
I'm gonna keep that and see. I'm gonna keep that a little bit close to the chest, but yes.
Ooh, now I'm really curious. We'll see what happens. But all right. So on our next episode, of course, this film did not have a direct sequel. This film was intended to be the final Nightmare film, but 3 years later, a film that is outside of the series canon of films was released by Wes Craven in his film Wes Craven's New Nightmare, released October 14th, 1994. And that will be on our next episode. And I'll tell you what, when that film came out, and I wasn't very, I was only a year old, not even, but once I got to see that and go through this franchise, I was hooked on that film as a kid. I don't know what it was, but I was a big fan of Wes Craven's New Nightmare. So we'll see how I feel about it after a rewatch of not watching it for quite a few years. I haven't seen it in a while, and my feelings change all the time about films. So we'll see what happens, but I'm excited to get into that one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm for it. Let's record.
All right, so before we get out of here, I will say thank you, Adrian, because even though I made you suffer through this, I appreciate you being here and doing the episode with me.
Of course, always a pleasure to do it. Um, I enjoy talking about films and especially ones that are as wacky and zany as this one was.
Oh yeah, this one is out there, way out there. So again, before we get out of here, thank you. Thank anyone who's out there listening. We have Wes Craven's New Nightmare on our next episode. But until next time.
See ya.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but nothing will ever kill me. Well, let's see now. First, they tried burning me. Then, they tried burying me. But this is my favorite. They even tried holy water. But I just keep on ticking.